So today we're going to be talking about the Apple iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is one of 4 models of the new iPhone 12s. You got the mini, you got the 12, you got the 12 Pro, and then you got the 12 Pro Max. So what I'm going to be talking about is what I initially thought when unboxing this bad boy, as well as the transfer process from my old phone to this one, and also what I've come across using it, not really for just 24 hours, but more like 72. I did get it on Friday. I'm recording this on Monday, so it is going to give a little bit more info, some of the things that I ran into, some issues that I've faced, and also I'm going to say, is this something that I'm going to keep, or am I going to send it back? Hey everyone, Chris here for Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry, or even some random topics like the iPhone 12 Pro Max, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also, make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. So let's talk about the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm not going to get into specs on this phone. If you want the specs on it, you can go to Apple, or you can check out another video, or just do a simple Google search and you can see what the specs are. I'm just going to go over my initial reaction to opening the phone, seeing my first few moments with it, how the upgrade process has been from going my old phone to this phone, and then also actually using it. So those are the few things that I'm going to be talking about. So again, if you want the actual specs on it, you'll have to check out a different video or check out apple.com and see exactly what the phone is capable of. So now I've had the iPhone for many years now. I've had many different models. I've had the 3GS. I've owned the 5. I've owned the 6 Plus. I've owned the X or the 10. And now this bad boy, which is the 12 Pro Max. So again, one of the things right out of the box, literally, is that you'll notice that it's much smaller than a typical iPhone box. And that's because Apple decided to cut some of the things out of production and say that they were going to ship smaller boxes. So my first initial few thoughts when I pulled it out and actually got it into my hand the first time was, yeah, this really does feel and look like the iPhone 5. In fact, when you do a side-by-side, you can see that it's very similar to the style and the design. And that is something that I really liked because I did love the iPhone 5. I thought it was great. So having the much larger screen in a newer, updated fashion, but still the throwback to the iPhone 5 style and design was a great feature that I truly like. Also, having the full-size screen like they've changed since the iPhone X or 10 and going through to today, that is a wonderful thing. The difference is the power button's a little bit bigger on here versus my old phones. Same thing with the volume button, and even just the feel of the sliding it back to turn the phone into vibrate mode. Those are all a little bit different. The only thing that I have to say that is a drawback from other phones to this phone is the camera and how much it actually sticks out from the back. So as you can see, it is a substantial amount. Now right here around the square, this is actually beveled up a few millimeters, and then you have a few more millimeters for the actual cameras themselves and the different lenses. And it also takes up a lot of real estate on the back of the phone. So it is something that I noticed can be a problem, and you really want to make sure you have a case on this phone because you want to make sure you protect the camera. Considering the camera is probably the main point of the phone, minus being able to have 5G capability. But yeah, the camera, you want to make sure you get a case that will protect it, and you want to make sure it's going to go out further than the cameras so it will really protect it. And when it comes to cases, one of the things that I do recommend, because this is a lot of real estate and it's open in this case, is make sure you get something that will also protect over the lenses and the camera itself. It's going to be much better for it. Get something where you can either slide it over and then open it up I've seen cases like that, or just have something that's going to be over completely. Because again, if you're going to keep this phone for a couple of years like I'm going to, I want to make sure that this is protected and covered, so it's going to be able to withstand a lot of the abuse over the next few years that it may just go through naturally. Holding it, you know, falling on the ground, something like that. I want to make sure everything is going to be protected and it's going to be usable for the next few years. So now going on to the case that I have currently, I am going to upgrade because I do want something that will protect the camera better. Also, the other thing is when it comes to screen protectors, normally I do have screen protectors on my phone. I do like them. I've dropped my phone many times. My screen protectors have cracked, but never the glass. I've always felt that it's protected it, and the case has protected it from drops. So I've always been a fan of the screen protectors, but with the new ceramic coating that's on this screen and the glass itself, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get a screen protector or not. I guess I'm just going to wait to see what it's going to look like when it comes to the actual case that I get and the functionality, and then I'll probably make the decision at that point. But currently I don't have a screen protector on it, and I'm not really worried if it does fall because a lot of drop tests have been really good and haven't really cracked in any way. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to recommend if you decide to get one of the iPhones, or if you just have a phone in general, is a fast charger. The reason why I say that, to go from a very low charge to nearly full in less than an hour is fantastic. So now going on and actually setting up the phone and going from my old phone to this phone, Apple has put in place a really simple way that you can pretty much clone your old phone and create it into your brand new phone. And in a couple of hours or so, everything will be transferred over. The only thing you might have to do is re-download the apps, but they will all be where you had them previously. And essentially it's just going to clone your old screen to your new screen. All the passwords, passcodes, passphrases, everything is going to be transferred over. And it's pretty much, like I said, cloning your phone. Now, this is going to be great for most people. It's going to be really easy, really simple to do. And you don't even have to really worry about changing over and then holding on to your old phone, because everything will just seamlessly go to your new phone. Now, if you're like me and you wanted to pretty much start from fresh and start from scratch, but you wanted to transfer all that over, well, you're going to have a few extra steps. And that's something that I haven't even had the time to do yet. So I just pretty much cloned my phone over, and I want to actually go back and I want to get rid of all the old apps that I don't use that are just pretty much collecting dust essentially. And I want to change around to the home screen, especially with all the new widgets and all those things that are coming out. And I want to make it much more functional for what I need and what's going to be good for me. That's the only drawback that I had when it came to the process of switching from the old phone to my new phone. I was hoping that I would be able to have that where I can actually just kind of start from fresh. And unfortunately, I never used the new feature of transferring from the old phone to the new phone, so I didn't know really what to expect. Now, if you're coming over from Android, you're just going to start fresh right from there. So it's going to be a little bit different for you just on the setup process. All you got to do is just set up, sign up, everything that you need to do. And there you go. You're good to go to start downloading the apps that you need to and all of that stuff. So now let's talk about the fun stuff, and that's actually the functionality behind the phone and using it. The look and the feel is great, especially when you're using it, but how you're using it and what you're using it for and just using it overall is the main point of having a new phone. So I've been using it more than 24 hours. I've been using it for almost 72 hours now. And I got to say, I like it. I like the larger screen, watching YouTube videos, watching Twitch, watching all these different videos. It's really nice looking at different photos, looking at things through Facebook and different social media. It's very nice. It's smooth. It operates really well. When I'm playing games, it's really good too. So like when I'm playing Angry Birds and there's a lot going on when everything's being destructed and all that, it's actually running really smooth. And I can't say anything better than that. Now, the few things though that I did run into that could be a problem but really isn't, is when there's ads that pop up when I'm playing a game. Sometimes it will actually be in the corner of the screen up here where you have to exit out, and it's going to be just off screen. So if you're looking for how you can close out that ad, it might be in the top corner, and for some reason the ad is expanding outward of what it really should be. I don't know if that's just some issue that I had in a setting from my old phone to this phone, and they haven't like utilized and done everything in updates yet when it comes to these ads. So I'm not sure if that's the case or not. All the apps that I've been using are pretty much perfect and good to go when it comes to the functionality, minus a couple of things where it could be just outside when it should be. So that I don't know if that's just going to be app utilization or if there's some sort of setting in the phone that I have to go through and change. I haven't dived through all of the settings yet. I have gone through many of them and changed a lot of settings to what I enjoy and what I like, especially turning off all of the data transfer and tracking and all that, and keeping the privacy functions on. Because one, it's going to save a lot of battery, and it's also going to not allow apps to track and all that stuff. So that's a whole different topic, but either way, it's good to be able to have those settings adjusted. And that brings me to the next point of battery. Now, my old phone, the iPhone X or 10, I've had for 3 years. So it's gone through many different cycles and charges. And anybody knows you get about 400 cycles for a lithium ion battery. So my old iPhone was starting to really dwindle, and I would have to charge my phone 2, sometimes 3 times a day because of how much I use it. And it was really annoying because I'd always have to start carrying my charger with me, and wherever I was going, I'd have to plug in if I was using my phone too much, or borrow somebody's charger and charge my phone up just enough so I could get home and then actually charge it. So it was getting really frustrating for a little while, and I knew I was probably going to be upgrading, so I was waiting and waiting till I got the new phone. Now that I have it, now that I've been using it nearly as much as I normally do as my other phone, and the battery being 100% brand new and having no cycles on it, I gotta say, I'm only charging it one time, and because I have that fast charger, it's taking me about an hour, and I get a full day's worth, which is fantastic. So I charged it right at Friday when I got it and was transferring from my old phone to my new phone. I was charging it up. Then on Saturday, I charged it around 3 p.m., finished around 4. Same thing on Sunday. It was probably about 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And being on Monday right now, I haven't even charged yet. Yeah, it's sitting about 5 or 6% right now. Now, I don't recommend going down that far and then charging it all the way to 100%. You want to try to keep it a little bit less, maybe about 20% or so, and then charge it. It's going to help extend the life of your battery. But I was just seeing what it was looking like on usage just to see about how much it would go from around 100% down to about 1%. So again, that's something I don't recommend doing because you don't want to get that full cycle charge right off the bat. You want to kind of shrink that a little bit so you're going to get more battery usage out of it. And like I said, I keep these phones for a few years, especially this phone. Now that it's 5G and now that it has a lot of the upgraded functionality, and you probably can't get too much more when it comes to the phones, I'll probably be having this for the next 3-4 years or so. So it's not something I'm looking to upgrade anytime soon. I'm not going with next year's model. I'm not going with 2 years from now model. I'll probably be going 3-4 years. So I want to keep the battery life as long as I can in this phone. And it may be something where I just replace the battery overall. Now let's talk about the last thing that truly separates the iPhone 12 Pro Max from its others, which is the 12 Max, the 12, and the 12 Mini. And that is not just the size, not just the functionality of being a Pro Max, but also the camera. Now, Apple has put a lot into this camera, and a lot of people are talking about exactly how well it is. And from what I've played around with, both in low light and just around here or there, just trying different shots, seeing what it looks like, seeing the functionality of the camera, seeing all of the things that are built into it, I gotta say, truly is amazing. And Apple has said that they're trying to go against and compete through the mirrorless industry. And so down the road in a couple of weeks, I will try to post a video that is going to compare the iPhone 12 Pro Max versus a mirrorless camera. And it's going to be the Canon M50, which is what I'm using right now to shoot this video and what I use for all of my videos. And it's also an entry-level mirrorless. Now, there are some functionalities of the iPhone 12 Pro Max that is going to be much better than the Canon M50 that I don't even need to test because I already know the functionality of both of them and what they are capable of doing. So like this is able to record in 4K in 24 frames, 30 frames, or 60 frames a second. I would love to be able to shoot in 30 frames a second, but unfortunately, the Canon M50 at 4K can only shoot in 24 frames a second. So I am limited to 24 frames. So there are some limitations when it comes to the mirrorless camera that you may be using. And again, this is also a couple of years old, so it is a little bit different. But I am going to test the differences between the picture quality, what it looks like, the different types of lenses and comparative to them, as well as overall when it comes to the iPhone 12 Pro Max versus a mirrorless. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and look forward to that video, because that is going to be something I think is going to be pretty interesting to see. So now, what are your thoughts on this? Are you going to be getting an iPhone 12? Are you going to go with the mini, the 12, the 12 Pro, or the 12 Pro Max? Comment below. Or if you're going to stick with the iPhone that you're currently having or an Android, what do you got? Comment below and let me know. And also, if you're looking to upgrade to the iPhone 12 Pro Max or just have questions overall on it, what it feels like, some of the functionality behind it, comment below and I will make sure to answer those questions as well. Now that's the end of the video, and I know it's a little bit different from the normal content that I do upload. So if you enjoy this and want to see more of it, make sure you give it a thumbs up or comment below letting me know that you want to see more things similar to this. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded, including what it's going to look like when it comes to the iPhone 12 Pro Max camera versus the Canon M50 camera, and seeing which one could be better, or if the Pro Max is even in the same ball game as a mirrorless. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, your delivery drivers, and your shoppers. And we'll see you next time.